Hey, fans of the Monday Movie Club. This week, Annie chose Good Will Hunting from 1997, which is number 257 on the Franken list. So it's pretty up there. All right, I am Frank Gaffney. With us is Good Joel Fenster. Cringer and Goldfuck. Good morning. Mark G has a picture up. You know he loves this movie. Annie King in the kitchen, taking a break from her tag sale. Hey, Annie. Why Good Will Hunting?
It's just one of those movies that I'll always stop and watch.
A remote
Proverbial
dropper,
remote
It's a
dropper.
remote dropper, and yeah.
Okay, Matthew Damon here's the plot.
Matthew Damon?
Yes,
Why call him
he's-
Mr. Damon?
Mr. Damon.
Matt
Benjamin
Damon.
Affleck.
Matt Damon is Will Hunting, a genius level IQ who chooses to work as a janitor at MIT. His talents are discovered when he solves a difficult graduate level math problem. Wow. But when he is arrested for attacking a police officer, he's only granted leniency if he gets treatment from a therapist, played by Oscar winner Robin Williams, who gets top billing, but somehow is in the supporting actor category. Ben Affleck is Will's best friend. Matt and Ben wrote the script together and became the youngest Oscar winner in the original screenplay category. Matt was 27 and Ben was 25.
Huh.
This is you that was news to you?
I thought they were the same age.
No. This is a very good movie. And this is my third time seeing it. Okay, so here's my observations while I was watching. I really had nothing to say for the first 30 minutes. There's a lot of plot going on.
Because there's no Robin Williams for the first 30 minutes.
I know, right? And then George Plimpton shows up. I'm like, why? I guess at the time he was, one of those
Who is
pundit
that?
types. He was the first psychiatrist,
I recognize that guy.
the homosexual.
a quick aside. George Plimpton just shows up everywhere. He came into my store one evening. I think it was
Oh
actually
my gosh!
a New
In
Year's
the
Eve.
video store?
The video store. And it was a holiday evening, so it was like Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve. We were open, and I'm working behind the counter, and my head is down. And this customer, you feel their presence, comes up to me and says, "Do you sell batteries?" And I knew exactly who it was by the voice.
Yeah,
I looked up and I said, "I'm sorry, Mr. Plimpton, we don't sell batteries." It's like,
yeah. So he was
have a
not.
happy holiday.
That's great.
He was not very good here either. And this is absolutely the moment Matt Damon became a star. He is terrific in this part. It's a really great script, and it was 33 minutes until Robin Williams showed up. And it's a serious role because he has a beard. And that duck pond speech is really why he won the Oscar.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was so restrained, so
Fantastic.
not Robin Williams. Great job. This was the moment I was watching, and I had to rewind it 3 times and then put on the closed captioning because I did not understand what Minnie Driver said at the end of the joke. Now,
I know exactly the line you meant.
Give us
Right?
a kiss.
Yes.
Yeah, I had no idea what
Yeah.
she said. I had to rewind,
Yep.
and then I put the captioning on because, like, what the fuck is she saying right now?
I thought you were going to do it, Mark.
I was gonna, but I didn't want to spill it all over myself.
Should I tell the joke?
Yeah.
All right, so this old couple, if you've seen the movie,
Yeah.
this old couple married 50 years. I'm paraphrasing. The wife is like, "Oh, I love you so much. Is there anything I can do? Commemorate?"
No, you need to do this in an Irish accent. Come on.
Oh, please.
This joke
And
just
she
became
said-
longer than it is in the film.
I know. And he says, "Give us a blowjob." I can't do an Irish accent. All right, so she does, and then he says to her, "That was beautiful, honey. Anything I could do for you?" And she takes a drink and says,
Give us a kiss.
I had no idea what she said. Give us a kiss. Okay. And so, some things do take me out of a movie. And this was one of those ridiculous moments. I was like, what? When Robin Williams is in the bar with Stellan Skarsgård, who looked great, so young and beautiful. And he says to the bartender, "And give us 2 sandwiches."
And by the way, those sandwiches came in about a minute.
Yep. Yep.
Just two random sandwiches. I
Yep.
don't know what's on the menu. Do they only make one sandwich?
Yes,
It
that's
took me. I
correct.
was like,
They
what?
make the sandwich. That's
And
it.
I definitely also thought, I guess they were ready, sitting right there for them.
I had no problem with it because, quite honestly, if you've been in a place as often as he probably has been, he probably has a standing order for something.
Oh my gosh! But then you would say, bring us the usual. Bring us
I'm
two
not
of the
agree with
usual.
that, but still,
Something to indicate to us that yes, the
So that's
guy
bad.
knows what sandwich
So
he
then
likes.
that's bad writing, and they shouldn't have won the Oscar.
No, I agree, Joel.
And
Again,
then-
he's obviously a regular. He's like Norm.
Yes,
Right.
I get that, but we don't know that.
Yeah, you do, because he tells you that.
And give us two sandwiches.
You tell
Yeah, with the tab. You'll
the
never
tab,
get
exactly.
to pay off
He
the
tells you
tab.
that.
No, sorry, and give us two sandwiches. What if the other guy doesn't like ham and cheese?
Too bad.
Oh shit.
All right.
Then Robin
Anyway.
Williams will eat both sandwiches.
And then this one killed me too. Same scene. Who's Ted Kaczynski?
Yeah, yeah.
Hello?
The people in
Are
the
you
audience
alive in
don't know.
1997? You don't know who Ted Kaczynski is?
All right, so
Absolutely.
you're dealing. Whoa! I'm gonna go with this one too. You're dealing with a guy who is so into math, his head is so up his
Academia.
ass. He's not going to be aware of current events.
No,
I agree.
Joel. You know it was completely a device to explain it to the audience.
Absolutely.
Completely. All right. And I think this is my last comment. No, well, maybe. And the entire sorry.
There's no such thing.
I'm gonna crack myself up. And the entire time, Will was wearing the same green pants with paint on them. The entire movie, he's wearing the same pants. He should be at Goodwill hunting for new pants.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I'll see myself out.
Yeah.
Can I kick him out of the meeting?
Even Cringer is like, what?
Goodwill hunting for new pants. Come on.
What about hunting? Goodwill Hunting 2, hunting season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And the movie is nicely tied up. Some would say a little too nicely tied up.
Sure.
Ben coming to get him and he's not there. The note to Robin Williams, gotta go see about a girl. But you want that. We want Will to succeed. And even the cuteness of Casey Affleck finally getting to sit in the front seat.
Front seat,
I'm
yes.
like,
Yes.
how adorable is that?
I loved when he did that.
Yeah. And this is the very definition of a feel-good movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
You
and
want him-
if they didn't have those lines and him not being there, it wouldn't have got the acclaim that it got. I feel.
Yeah,
And then
so-
what line?
I got
those
a
kinds of
girl,
things.
and son of a bitch stole my
Oh.
line, and him
Right.
not being there when Ben Affleck showed up, like he said, I pray for that day that you won't
Yeah.
be there, and all that.
Yeah. So it's all very well plotted.
You
They
know, when
did-
Joel
they
first
did-
saw the movie and they did that scene, he went, well, we know how the movie's going to end now.
Well, yeah, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, but not in a terrible way.
no.
Not in a way you're like, oh, good Lord. So, and I did read somewhere that they did talk to some other writers about their script and that,
Including
they may have
William-
made some.
William Goldman, who wrote.
But William Goldman also said he really had nothing to do. He made one
gave them some
suggestion. He
advice. Yeah,
said,
exactly.
yeah, to take out the CIA crap. But so whatever helped them along, I'm sure they found stuff while they were doing it. But it is a great script. So 3.5 stars for me. It's also a little dated on some things, but very nice direction by Gus Van Sant. Nicely acted all around. This is a good one. 3.5 stars. Aim, do you agree?
Oh, yeah. I remember when this movie came out, what a sensation it was because these two young guys wrote it and starred in it. And I even rewatched their Oscar win yesterday. That
I
was-
wanted to
yeah?
do that, but I
What
didn't.
happened
Yeah.
there?
It was just very cute. And Matt was just so like, oh my God. He was
Weren't the two of them
adorable.
holding it up like a trophy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was very, very sweet. And then of course I had to watch Robin Williams win and Billy Crystal was like, "Oh my God, my best friend just won." And then he finally hugged him at the end. It was very, very sweet. So you should watch that too. But
Thank
getting
you.
back to the movie, when you mentioned Casey Affleck, I was so excited for him because he became an actor, but never really that big. And I don't think anybody knew who the hell Casey Affleck was. And it was like, oh my God, that was his brother. And just the dynamic of them in the car was so much fun to watch. I loved them together.
But
Yeah,
don't forget,
all
Amy.
the scenes with the friends, you know that was right from their life.
Yeah,
That's the way they
sure.
teased each other. So adorable for sure.
But don't forget. I mean, Ben Affleck was nobody at the time too.
Right,
You know,
right.
and
He's
what's his name?
nobody now.
Cole
Sure.
Hauser, who was the fourth friend, was in Dazed and Confused with Ben Affleck and a bunch of other guys. So you could tell, like, they just basically handpicked their friends, family,
Yeah,
whatever it is, to be
Yeah.
in the movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was great. And it's great that Casey and Ben don't look alike because nobody knew they were brothers. So very cute. What else? I didn't take any notes. I just really enjoyed the movie. I forgot most of it. The one thing I did remember,
Wait. How many times have you seen it?
I know I saw it in the theater. I don't remember if I ever saw it again.
Okay.
Uh, but one thing I really remember besides the apples line, which is everybody's favorite line, the whole audience was like, "Oh my God, that's the most amazing line ever written in the world." Was the extreme close-ups on Matt when he was laughing when Robin was telling the fart story, which I was like this. And he had these extreme close-ups with the nose going like this.
I believe that was all improvised by Robin as well.
Really? I was hoping he didn't improvise that much and they just
That story I read a while ago was improvised, so that was supposed to
Oh.
be Matt Damon's actual reaction because he wasn't expecting it.
Yeah. Anyway, I do love the movie. I would give it at least 3.5, but I'll go with 3.5. Because I was
You
like,
give it-
should I go 3.5, three
Oh,
and
I
a
see.
quarter? I'll go
Right.
3.5. But it's a love, definite love movie.
Yeah. And I had just seen it.
It's so well written for 25 years old,
Yeah. Maybe
24, 23.
Do I hear
I
20?
think they had written it 5 years prior.
no,
So
no.
20 and 22.
Matt actually started
Oh,
working
Matt's right,
on it
5
as
years.
his final college.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't
So
know
he
that.
was 21, 22. whatever.
Yeah, amazing.
All right,
And it
Mark,
was
you
also
want to tell us about your
It
What,
was a very
Joel?
different. It was a very different script when he started it, though. It wasn't,
Yeah.
it wasn't what you saw on screen. It was like,
Yeah.
one of the things I love about screenwriting is following the initial idea to its completion, and you wind up with things like, Rain Man, where you have this Oscar-winning film that came out of a script that was not the greatest to begin with, and had like a motorcycle chase with neo-Nazis in it. That
Like the
I would
first
pay to see that.
episode of The Greatest American Hero, by the way. I rewatched that a while ago and I was like, wow, there's like a bunch of KKK guys chasing down a black guy. Did not remember that at all.
Wow.
1982 or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I also for the one of the few times did not take any notes. I just sat back and enjoyed it. Annie, this was my fourth time watching it, and it's weird how I've zigzagged because the first time I saw it was probably about a year after it came out, probably because I watch the Oscars every year. I've always watched them. So I probably saw that win and was like, all right, let me watch it when it comes out on video if it's not out already. And I thought it was all right, and I finally realized why everyone was saying how you like them apples, And then maybe 10 years later, in 2008, I rewatched it and thought it was brilliant. Loved it, loved it, loved it. And then maybe 8 years ago, I rewatched it again by myself and thought, oh, it was more boring than I thought, not as great, da 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 da. Da. And I remember showing Danielle like the highlights of this clip right here, the how you like them apples and stuff like that. And so I was kind of expecting that this time, but just like number two, it went back up, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And so did Danielle watching it for the first time. Pretty much loved all of it. And I guess because I'm so mature and sophisticated now, I always had thought this scene with Will and Skylar breaking up and the crying and all that stuff. I remember thinking it was kind of cheesy and overdone, and I got it this time. I guess I don't know. It seemed much more real.
And she was Oscar nominated, so there.
She was? Okay, good.
Yep.
Yeah, no, so I got it all. I thought there was no bad parts to the movie. It was mostly great. I loved all the principal actors, and yeah, I mean Robin Williams was just absolutely fantastic. Every scene he was in.
But oh my God, his Boston accent, he should have lost the Oscar for that accent. I was like, Matt, Ben, you're right there. Tell him you don't talk.
Give him pointers.
He did lose the Oscar to Jack Nicholson.
Oh, he didn't win for this?
He did win for this.
For what?
That's the clip I watched.
Good Will Hunting.
The
Best
acting
support-
Oscar? Oh,
Yeah.
Robin Williams. Oh, I thought we were talking about Matt Damon. Never mind. Sorry.
No.
He has a
Not
great
Robin.
accent.
Anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed. Thank you, Annie. This is 3.75 stars for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Joel, is that the Good Will Hunting script on the top of that pile?
Yeah.
No. I
Well, you said about the genesis of the script. I thought maybe you
I-
read the original.
No, I actually have. I have not read this script specifically. I've read plenty of other scripts. It's a good script, from what I can tell from the film, and just from, I'm more interested in the stories of how they get there, and those are easy to find online, and how it got from more about an action film with the CIA to
Right.
to what the finished
Oh, the
product.
other funny thing I read too was that, like, about maybe 30, 40 pages into it, I don't really remember, that they wrote a sex scene between Matt and
Yeah.
Ben.
Yeah.
And Miramax was the only one that said, "Wow, what about that sex scene?"
Well,
So they're
because
like, okay, so you read it.
Harvey Weinstein's going to pick up on every sex scene in every movie anyway. So, in retrospect, there's that issue that I'm kind of like, is that going to affect my score? Because if Kevin Smith hadn't brought it to Harvey Weinstein, would they have made the movie?
And I remember reading a while ago that Robin then brought Matt to a meeting with Steven Spielberg, and that's how he got Saving Ryan's Privates.
Right.
Oh.
Because he was in Hook with Steven Spielberg, and
if this film hadn't done as well as it did, Universal wouldn't have given Gus Van Sant the go ahead to make the Psycho remake. So this movie's got a lot of fucking problems to it. No,
But I would say, right? I think everyone would agree that this came out in 97. Saving Private Ryan came out in 98. Matt Damon specifically blew up. It was a 1-2 punch. He became like the big, huge star.
No, I remember thinking at the time, he's a big star. How is he playing this little part in Saving Private Ryan?
Mm.
Because
well, he was still able to do Dogma in the middle of all this too. So it's blown up as a big.
That
star.
was not on my radar.
It should have been. Great.
Yeah.
Next year's list, all the Kevin Smith films straight through.
I'm in. You know that. Yeah, I've seen them all.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. See.
3.75. It's a great movie. There's really nothing I can add that hasn't already been said. I will go controversially and say that of the best picture films of that year,
All right, tell us the other ones.
I'm not going to tell you the other ones, other than
You don't know the other ones.
Titanic is the one I'm
Titanic,
specifically thinking of. I think this is a better film than Titanic. Titanic is the more blockbustery, pompous film with the really cliched romance that drove the whole thing anyway, in my opinion. I like this one better than Titanic.
Was it as good as it gets in there?
No, Titanic isn't as good as it gets. Yes, As Good as It Gets is one of the other films as well.
Yeah, but that wouldn't have won over
that
either of the movies, in my opinion.
Huh? What was that,
We'll
Mark?
vote.
As Good as It Gets would not have won over Good Will Hunting or Titanic if I was voting.
Yeah, well, and it didn't. It was all
I'm just saying.
I forget what the other two movies are.
But I would
Amy's
agree, even
looking it
I
up
love
right now.
Titanic, but I would agree that this is the better movie.
Best Picture Oscar nominees, 1997.
98.
Thank you.
Yes, it would be 98.
98.
Wow, a lot of squinting going on there.
I know, I have to put my reading glasses on. You type in 97 because that's the awards. It aired in 98.
Yes.
I typed in 97.
Okay.
Titanic, Good Will Hunting,
Yes.
As Good as It Gets,
Yes.
No way.
LA Confidential, and The Full Monty.
Right. LA Confidential and the whole.
That was I have to rewatch that.
Okay, I like all of those movies, but if I was voting,
Yeah.
I would pick Titanic.
Of course.
That was an amazing production.
It was.
After you work for
This
Fox.
is a better.
And I worked for Fox. Amy, you want to
Alright.
vote?
Where you go? Work?
I love Titanic, but it's the last 90 minutes that I love just because there's so much action. I fucking love
Yeah.
it. So that's too hard. It's too hard.
Sophie's choice.
Yeah.
Now, that's a better movie than all of these, but that's
No, yeah, you were supposed to say that wasn't nominated this year.
I can't
Alright,
even
so-
do Sophie's Choice. I would have to kill them both.
Oh, Wow,
I
that's
can't-
Spoilers! Spoilers!
I actually never saw Sophie's Choice.
Oh,
I
Ah.
finally did because I always thought it was about abortion. I honestly thought.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, in a way, it is a very
Well,
delayed
that-
abortion, but
Yeah, I hear you.
It is.
Amy, the when she the big reveal at the end is rather harsh.
yeah, it's
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, I know she does pick one.
uh,
we all have a favorite
Heartbreaking.
kid.
heartbreaking.
Real favorite kid? Oh my!
Cringer
Such a-
or Ruby?
Such a beautiful. There's no vote there.
No, there
that's
is not.
And but yeah, Meryl's performance. Good lord, I just watched. Sorry, sidetrack.
We're still
I just
recording.
I just watched Lydia. I just watched Little Women, the Greta Gerwig one, which I had never seen before. And Meryl Streep is great in that. All right, Annie King, this was your choice, so it must be a 4-star movie.
It's a 4-star movie. I've seen it like over a dozen times. Whenever it's on, we're watching it. So
Could you say you've seen it a baker's dozen times?
probably, yeah. Yeah, and Morgan's always watched little bits and pieces wherever she walks in. So this time we made her watch the whole thing from start
Had
to
she
finish.
never seen the whole thing?
No,
Wow.
bits and pieces. Yeah, so she enjoyed it too. Not a 4-star for her, but she thought it was really good. But yeah, I just thought it was great, and I seen it from when it first came out, and on the big screen, and I've just always watched it. I mean, there's some scenes that my favorite scene is when the two of them are talking after the construction day job. And he says, if you're still here in 20 years, I'm going to kill you. That
Right,
scene
right.
is my favorite.
I
But
said
then
that to Amy in the bagel store.
And then when he says, it's not your fault, that one always makes me cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any lines that have made it into your everyday life? Like you quote? Like Mark is always quoting movies.
I have used "I will fucking end you" before. I love that line. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, we've been going around the last few days saying, how do you like them apples?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you'd have to stand up.
Yeah.
Apples.
Did not get that.
I
Oh
like
yeah,
them.
your melons. Those are more melons. Yeah.
Yeah. In her case, for sure. Yeah. Okay. That's great. We love this movie. What Good Will Hunting is on Paramount Plus. Next week,
Oh, here
Joel
we
picked,
go.
Joel picked both the Three Musketeers from 1973 and the Four Musketeers from 1974, insisting they are really one movie.
They were made that way, and there's an entire clause in everybody's contracts now called the Salkind clause, because when the Salkinds decided, hey, instead of
Wait.
releasing this as one movie, let's make it two.
It's the
Everybody
same
sued
thing
them.
about Superman and Superman 2.
Yeah.
No, they
You
went
did.
into Superman and Superman 2 knowing that they couldn't pull that shit again. They were
Ah.
shooting them
And-
both back to back, and all the actors were getting paid for 2 movies. They were only getting
And then
paid for
because
one
of
movie.
Mr. Salkind, we had to deal with Twilight ending part 1 and 2, Harry Potter ending
Potter.
part 1 and 2. It's all his
Wicked.
fault, Joel.
Yes,
Wicked.
it's all the Salkind's fault.
What did you say?
Wicked.
Wicked.
Wicked. Wicked was Act 1 only.
Oh, Wicked. Yes, Wicked.
Yes.
And that's another whole year between movies. And they filmed it at the same time, Salkin.
Yes, but again, they all knew that they were shooting 2 movies at the same time.
And getting paid for 2 movies.
Correct. The entire cast of this film, and it's a huge cast of names, were all like, oh, yeah, we're making 1 movie. What? You're not paying us for 2 now?
Funny.
Well, I mean, didn't they think when they saw the script was 300 pages long? That was not going to be 1 movie?
Ben-Hur is a long
I
movie.
was
That's
gonna
not,
say that.
Lawrence of Arabia is a
Yeah.
long movie. The
Gone
God.
with the Wind is 3 hours and 45 minutes.
It's way too
All right.
long.
Oh my God.
Okay, you can watch both movies on Prime.
Yeah, I was
That's
gonna
it.
say. We
I'm
better be
Frank.
boxing that shit up.
And then the week after is the better version.
Hey,
Wait, so we're really watching both movies this week?
Yeah.
You have to, Amy.
And then another version next
Find me the
week. So a
time.
lot of Musketeers in the next 2 weeks.
Hey,
Yeah.
I also have to squeeze in a 2.5 hour, no, or is it 3 hour? I forget, the one foreign film I didn't see from the Oscars for my Temple group before
Hey,
next.
I'm still here. I'm
Play
still
the
here.
violin for
Yeah.
you while I'm at work 9 hours a day.
Amy, you're just gonna have to watch one less episode of 90 Day Fiance.
Shut up.
All right, that's it for us. I'm Frank Gaffney. Go see a movie, huh?
And also with you.